I'm here at the South Bank in London. I'm just outside a very interesting thing called the 4D Centre. I'm here with Martin and Mike, who are from the company called 4D Centre. Now, in a minute we'll have a look at what the 4D Centre offer, but basically you can go into their photo booth, have a picture of yourself scanned, and then within 5 minutes you will be crystallised forever in a tiny little cube in 3D. You can turn around it and everything, but we'll have a look at more of that in a minute. But I'd like to start off by asking you, Martin, a bit more, where did this whole thing come from, 4D Centre? How long has it been around? How long has the technology been around for?
Mike will tell you, I think he'll concur, that the Russians invented lasers 50 years ago, and about 7 years ago he developed this for Madame Tussauds. So you should really ask him about his experience at Madame Tussauds.
Okay.
I think.
Yes, 2001 I actually set up Madame Tussauds globally, worldwide, in some of their several locations there, where we actually had equipment, everything set up, and it ended up we were actually making quite a lot of money, probably more so than what was happening in their gift shop. And then at the end of it, we came to an agreement that they would actually carry on doing the 3D, and I am actually doing my own setup. We actually signed up contracts with doing all the work for Boots and Snappy Snaps, so globally, and about 7,500 stores throughout the UK. And the one we have here, which is the first outside location in the UK, and I'm sure this is probably the most profitable for us.
I was just saying, we said earlier on that you have about 18 million people a year going down this.
18 million, yes.
So of that, you can imagine the flow of people and how busy we can get here. So yes, that's where we're from.
So you just said that people at places like Boots and everything and Snappy Snaps, so you can actually go into Boots and have these type of things done?
Well, our plan is to deploy what Mike did before and to reinvigorate that, because we have a new design, better quality, lower price. So we're going to try and do that in a process way. And we are gearing up to do that right now, aren't we?
Yeah,
a new
rollout.
rollout.
Quite a few locations from Boots, Snappy Snap, and also there's other services which we're offering, which is a 2D image, go and convert it into a three-dimensional one, which is very unique and very special.
So people could just upload a quality image to your site, and then they can actually have it delivered as a 3D cube.
That's a good word. Quality is the right word.
Right. Well, can we have a look actually at your stall and see some people having it done? Thank you. Okay, so we're now going to go into the area where people have their faces. Is it scanned? Would you say that's correct? Scanned. So let's have a look inside. Come in here. There we go. So obviously there's a white thing there. How do you have to look in any certain way, or do you have to stand in a certain way to have this done?
Sit down and just take a picture. That's it, done.
Great. Okay.
You've been captured in a third of a second.
So they're now going to process that, and then that's actually going to come out as a 3D cube. Do you think one day you'll ever be able to do this in colour? Do you think that's far off in the future?
You can get colour, but there's very limited colour on the crystal, and also the crystal itself is rather quite expensive.
Right.
And you need what they call a UV lasers.
Okay.
And they're quite expensive, but you can get it, but very limited. And it's not really that good either.
And in theory, I'm not saying you would, but in theory, could you have like a large one done, like a real size of your head?
We can actually. We do large ones. We do, because we have equipment in West London.
Okay.
We have 8 large machines.
Right.
What we call production machines, and those we can do literally size of doors. But
really?
But we do flat glass, not three-dimensional.
Right.
Because they'll be very heavy to pick. So
I can imagine very expensive as well.
Thin glass, yeah. We do that sort of type.
You could do him.
So you're putting a blank crystal in this box now?
The great thing about this is the international team. We have a Spanish photographer, we have a Frenchman here, we have somebody of indeterminate status here.
But actually, I can say that this is fascinating. This is what really attracted me to this in the first place. If you look at that, I don't know if it comes across on camera, but can we zoom in without it getting out of focus? I don't know, it's quite difficult. But that's literally creating in front of your eyes a 3D. Now, without giving too much away, what's actually, is that burning something in? It's etching.
It's making little micro cracks.
Okay.
The instructions come down from there as like a print command to a piece of paper, but the piece of paper is three-dimensional and solid. So X, Y, Z, the 3 coordinates that determine where it goes, are from the mirrors which bounce the light across. You can see it shooting over.
So remember, before
there are
that,
3 levels of service: 2D, A 2D picture encased in crystal, that's flat. 2D to 3D, where we take your picture and stretch it, so it's 3D, and then 3D itself. So 3 levels of service.
So before that finishes, have you got an example of a 2D to 3D here? Or?
Well, the 2D one I showed you, if you recall, there we are. That's the 2D product.
And you can just upload that to your site, and then that'll be delivered like that. Is
Absolutely,
that right? Okay.
with whatever lettering you like on it. Yeah.
So that's a 2D wrap, did you say?
No, that's a 2D picture
pure
in
2D.
crystal, yeah. Where the image does not have enough pixels
Sure.
to make it and stretch it into a 3D object. So this has 10 kilobytes.
Okay.
The ones that we use here have a megapixel, so they have a million
Right.
dots. And that way the computer can render them in 3D.
So your second level of service, you can take 2D images if they're good enough. You
That's
can
why
wrap
we
it
have
to
look
3D.
at the picture, yeah. That service costs £35 plus, takes 3 to 5 days, and is almost as good as this, but will never be as good as that because that's a £20,000 camera,
Sure.
an £80,000 laser, so you get what you pay for. You know? Try not to touch the machine because it will
Right.
switch off. It's fine. You should be able to see the nose.
I can't.
Just being forged now. It's almost finished. This is the dramatic moment when we reveal how you are. Get ready.
Wow.
Now we always try to prepare people emotionally.
Look at this.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. It's quite incredible. That is
The one on the back shows you as you see yourself in the bathroom mirror every day.
okay.
But the one on the front, which is a different picture, is how other people see you.
Right.
And the two are different. One is in, one is out. You can say that. One is a negative of the other, but they are different pictures.
Excellent.
You've got to understand that. Now,
Well,
some people leave here screaming, trying to resolve the balance
the
between
emotional
in
trauma.
and out. Yes. I hope that
mean,
explains it all.
Well, thanks ever so much. I think it's, so
Thank you very much for coming.
if you want to know
Jonathan.
more about the 4D Centre, obviously you can go to 4dcentre.com.
That's
is that
it.
right? And I'll put some more information on my website. And also, if you want to get this done,
And
you can't
remember,
get.
celebrate your life.
Exactly, that's the way. So if you can't get down to London, you can send these pictures via their website. You can have it converted to 3D and get yourself one of these cubes. So thanks so much, and all the best with it. Thank you.